Let's talk about something important called mental care for marketers. Let's try that again. Mental care for marketers. So why is this so important? Well, I personally believe that it's just as important to take care of our mental health as it is our physical health. In fact, it's probably even more urgent to do that because if you don't exercise for a while, it takes a while for that to reveal itself in your body. Mentally, you can become a total mess in a fraction of the time that it takes to become a total mess physically. And so we need to actively be working as marketers to control our mental health and to prevent problems there. Also, as marketers, we've got a number of things that are specific to our profession that other people simply don't have, especially if you're an online marketer who faces the prospect every day of putting offers out there, of looking to build your audience, those kinds of things. We've got these special factors that make a difference that can actually end up hurting us in one way or another. So let me throw out a number of key factors. Sorry, it hit 60 today, and guess what? The pollen's out and my nose is telling me it's missed pollen for a while here, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so here are several factors that I have found are important. Number one, launch imperfect. Here's what I mean by that. If you are constantly saying, I'm never going to release my product to the world until it's perfect, you will never actually release your products. And that takes a mental toll on you because you start feeling like you're a failure. So do the concept of minimum viable product. Put a product out there. Let the feedback from your customers tell you what you need to fix and change in that product. And so you launch far before you achieve perfection. Next, don't take rejection personally. So as marketers, we put offers out there over and over again. And sometimes it's easy for us to start taking that rejection personally. Recognize that them saying no to your offer, not rejecting you personally. They may still love you, adore you, want to spend time with you, want to buy everything you send out, except for that one thing. And so if you start taking things seriously and personally, it can seriously affect your mental capabilities. Don't do that. It's not a rejection of you. Next, don't keep competitive score. So I believe we should be keeping score. So I have a goal for a number of leads. I have goals for numbers of sales, those kinds of things. I think those are things that we should be keeping score of. But the thing we shouldn't do is compare the size of our last launch to somebody else's last launch. Because as soon as you do that, you are destined to start feeling insignificant. Here's what happens. No matter how good you are, there's always somebody who's sold more. Recognize that even once we get outside of our world, there's Procter & Gamble and there's Walmart and there's huge marketing launches that happen every single day. And if we're starting to keep score, what you tend to do is you ignore everybody who's below you and you only focus on the ones who beat you. And that's not healthy. Don't get caught up in the trap of keeping score competitively. Next, it's important for us to recognize that success comes incrementally in the world of marketing. It's, okay, I had this offer. It brought in an 18% conversion. I did another one. It brought in 20%. Hey, I'm better. Yes, I may not have just done $1 million launch, but I just came in better than I have historically. Success happens incrementally in the world of marketing. Recognize that and don't consider yourself a failure because you didn't come in at this huge number. I meet people all the time. It's like, okay, my last launch was $3,500. My next launch is going to be $40,000. It's like, no, it's not. You just did $3,500 doing the very best you could. What makes you think, what changed that makes you think you're going to get 10 times that in your next launch? So be realistic in your goals. Recognize that success happens incrementally. Next, break down your goals and tasks. So as marketers, we oftentimes have great, big, ginormous goals that sit out here. And it takes weeks or months to get there. And team working, and what ends up happening is if all we're doing is focused on the ginormous goal out here and not focusing on each of the incremental steps that are taken to get there, what ends up happening is we can drive ourselves into a mental mess without recognizing the progress that we're making. So break your big, ginormous goals down into little ones, and so you can constantly be feeling, okay, I'm succeeding. Even to the point where my goal is to get like 5 dopamine hits a day. Okay, I just did this thing. Excellent. Boom, I get the dopamine hit. Okay, now I'm ready to go work on the next one. I'm gonna work on that. Oh, boom, an hour later, I got another one. It's like, that's the level you should be focusing on. Next, find someone to serve. There's millions of people out there. There's probably dozens within walking distance of where you are right this moment. Find one of them or dozens of them to serve. Service focuses you outside of yourself, focuses you on people who have bigger needs, bigger problems than yours, and brings everything into perspective. Next, hey, get enough sleep. It's so easy, especially we in marketing for some reason feel like we always have to be on, always have to be doing things, and then we got things like Clubhouse that came along that suddenly meant that we had to literally be on all the time. And it's like, don't go there. Turn off, set a time in the day. Okay, I'm going to be done with work. I'm going to be done. I'm not going to check my email. I'm not going to check my Slack. I'm not going to check anything after that. And I'm going to do something to recreate. And then I'm going to go to bed. And I'm going to get enough sleep. Next, shed guilt. There's a lot of guilt that can be associated with marketing. I'm behind. I'm not doing it fast enough. I'm not doing it well enough. My offers aren't getting what everyone else is. Here comes another sneeze. Okay, it's going to be an interesting springtime. Shed that guilt. Go on and don't worry about it. Next, set boundaries. I talked about the time boundaries, but there are other boundaries. It's like if a client calls you at 8 o'clock at night, you don't have to answer the phone. If your boss calls you at 8 o'clock at night, you don't have to answer the phone. Set boundaries as to what you're going to do. And if someone rips into you because you didn't abide by their expectation of what your boundaries should be, it's like, oh, well, sorry about that. Maybe you're not the right client for me. Next, celebrate all your wins. Sometimes we can feel like we go for a long period of time without having wins in our life. That's the reason why we need to be celebrating all our wins. Even the little pieces of progress are worth celebrating. Now, it doesn't mean you go hold a big party for every single one of them, but have enough of a celebration. Don't forget to say, good job, Don, with your name replacing Don. You need to hear yourself telling yourself that you're doing a good job. Reward yourself with those things. Recognize also, there's nothing wrong with getting help. In fact, sometimes it's the single most important thing you can do is to get some professional help. If you can't afford to get professional help, go get non-professional help. Have someone to talk to. While we're on that subject, I suggest every marketer needs to have a coach. You need to have somebody that you can say, that you can explore things with, that you can talk with, that you can say, hey, am I doing this right? Can I do better? And let them be the mind outside of yours, seeing the things that you're not seeing. Recognize also your entire history is really irrelevant in marketing because every single lead is new. They don't know you. They don't know your past history. They don't know that you failed in the past. They don't know that you haven't met your goals. You've got a brand new experience every single time somebody gets on your list. Every single time someone encounters you for the first time. Recognize they don't know your past. All right, let's make the best future we can. If they don't know the past, perfect. Let's make it great. And while we're on that same subject, every offer is new. They don't know your old offers. So nail your current offer and everything can be brighter and look up. Okay, there you go. Some tips to help you in marketing. I'm sure that you have a dozen more that I should have brought up. Put them in the chat. I'd love to see what they are. These are some things that I have found help me stay mentally healthy in the process and recognize staying mentally healthy is an active process and should be one of your goals. This is Don Crowther saying, just go do this stuff.